Hello viewers, Joe's HVAC Fishing Railfan Productions here, and I have been requested by my magical teacher, Miss Royak, to do a video on how to tune a piano. So, Miss Royak was telling me before that she tried to tune her own piano, and it didn't quite work out the way she expected. She found some videos on how to do it, but it turns out the videos weren't giving enough information. So that's probably what caused the tuning to not go as planned. So Ms. Royak, this video is for you. I hope you like it. So today we're going to show you how to tune a piano. Now, I'm not going to take you through the whole tuning procedure, but we're going to do some demonstrations on how to do it and how to do it properly. So I am a piano tuner and technician of 5 going on 6 years of experience coming August. So, excuse me, sorry about that. I just had a snack. Anyway, so today we're going to show you how to tune a piano. So we're going to show you the tools and we're going to get started. So our first tool you always want to have is a tuning hammer. This is my tuning hammer that I've had for a little over almost 7 years. I can't believe how long I've had this. This is my tuning hammer that I use for the job. I'm sure you guys watched the piano tuning live stream when we tuned my piano a while back. This is my tuning hammer. And we'll show you how to put it on the tuning pins, which we're going to show you that right now. So right now we are looking at the piano itself. This is a Iverson Pond console piano from 1966. And as you can see here, these are your tuning pins. There's your strings right there. And here's your hammers. So your hammers are what actually hit the strings. So you got your strings right here. You got your tuning pins. And then you got everything else you need. So in order to insert a tuning hammer onto a tuning pin, the first thing you need to do is to make sure you have the right size head. Now, usually pianos have number 1 tuning pins, which is what this is. And your tuning head, you can use a star head like mine, as you can see right here. That is my star-shaped head. Or you can use a square head if your piano happens to have square tuning pins, which mine does. So we put our tuning hammer on the pin like this. So you can see here we put it on the left string. And this is our A440. So that is how you put your tuning hammer on your tuning pins. So now we're going to grab our rubber wedge mute, which is this guy right here. And we're going to insert it on the left string. Well, actually, we're going to insert it on the right and the middle strings. So you insert your mute in between the 2 strings like that. And there you go. Now we are all set and ready to start. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise that up a little bit because you don't want to get into the strike zone of the hammer, which is where it hits the strings. So now we can only hear the left string. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up Tuner Ninja, which is what I use for tuning pianos, and we're going to do some demonstrations on what intervals to use when tuning a piano. So we're going to pause you guys for a minute here while I pull up our Tuner Ninja. Okay, so I have pulled up my Tuner Ninja, and we are going to go ahead and start. So before I start the tuning procedure, I'm going to tell you guys what it's telling me before and after I have tuned the note. Sorry for the glare. The sun's at the wrong angle right now. But I want to get this video done for Miss Royak so that way she can use this video. She needs to tune her piano. So we're going to put you guys right here. That way you guys can see what we're doing. And yes, there's my headphones. So anyway, we're going to start off with our A440 here. So we're going to go ahead and look at my Tuner Ninja, which we're going to go ahead and hit start. And there we go. So now we're going to go ahead and play our A440. and we're just a tad bit shy. We're at 441 because I like to tune to 442 in the winter. That way, when the piano falls flat, it'll be closer to where it should be. So we're going to bring it up to 442. Oh, wrong note. All right, we'll have to edit that out. All right, we're showing right on. We're at 442. So we're going to go ahead and tune our middle string here. So we're going to reposition our mute and put it on we're going to put it on just the right string now. And we're going to go ahead and tune our middle to the left. As you guys can see there, we are reading 442. So we're going to go ahead and tune our right string now. Oh, guys, that sounds pretty sour right there. All right, look at that, 442. Okay. So you guys can hear we're sounding really good now. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to our E4, which is our next note we are going to tune, which is this one right here. So now if we play it to our A442, which I like to tune to 442 in the winter, as I said before, that way when it falls flat, it'll be closer to in tune. I'm sure you guys can hear that. It sounds pretty sour. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up here. So what I like to do when I'm tuning pianos, I like to start on A440 first, and then I like to go to my E4, tune that up. And then I go to my D4, and I tune that up as well. So now for those of you who use the European tuning system, your A440 would actually be A5 in the European tuning system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tune our E here, our E4. So as you can see, we are muted on our right and middle strings, so now on the left string only. And we're going to do the same thing and repeat the process. And another point of note too, for Miss Royak, you might want to refer to this. You guys notice what just happened there as I overshot just a tiny bit, so it became obvious that it was sour sounding again. And then what I did is I pulled it back down to pitch in order to get it as close as possible to matching the A440, which your E4 to A4 is a perfect fourth. As you guys can tell, we are now sounding really good. So we're going to go ahead and do our middle string here, and we're just going to repeat the process on the demonstrations, and then I'm going to get into the actual tuning procedure. There you go. So you see we're about 2 beats flat. Just like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it up a little bit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back. And now we're gonna set the strings. And just like that, the strings set to beatless. So when you hear me play loudly like that, that's me setting the strings. So that way if the tension gets equalized after we have finished that note. And then if the tension gets unequal and it starts beating again, then we just remake the adjustments that are necessary in order to compensate and get rid of the beat. So that way all 3 strings sound exactly the same. So we're going to go ahead and repeat the process throughout. And there we go. We are beatless. Now we'll take a listen. Absolutely set. So now we're going to move on to our D4, and we're going to do the exact same thing as we did before. This demonstration will be on the mid-range only. There we go. It's sounding sour. We're going to go ahead and tune it. Ignore the plane overhead. Now, as you can tell, we are sounding really good, so we're going to double check, make sure it's in tune. We are spot on the money. We're going to go ahead and tune our middle string. You guys can see we play loudly like that in order to set the tension on the strings. As you can see, we sound good, so we're just going to repeat the process throughout the rest of the video. Sometimes what's best you can do too, so you can see what I just did there is I just adjusted the hammer slightly. I just pushed it to the right a little so it hits the 3rd string, because this one has a tendency, even after adjustments, it tends to miss the strings. So sometime in a maintenance procedure video, we're going to show you guys how to readjust the hammer, check it for warpage to a neighbor. And so that's why you can see I've numbered all the hammers. So if we have to take every hammer out of the action, or if we have to take out a group at once, we know what hammer goes where since they are numbered. So what we're going to do is we're going to double check. There we go, our D4. We're going to go ahead and check it to our A440, which is a perfect 5th above. Pure. Pure. So now we're going to go ahead and tune the rest of the mid-range here, and that will conclude the video after we have done the mid-range. So anyway, just sit back, relax, and enjoy a dying art in action. so we're gonna have to bring that G up a little bit. So we're gonna pause on that middle C for right now, and we're gonna bring that G back up. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna tune our middle C first, and we'll get right to the G afterward. Or what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get them as close as possible. All right, there we go. Oh, there we go. There's one that sounds pretty bad already. That's our B3 right there. Or for those of you who use the European tuning system, that would be B4. So this is our B3 right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that right there for now, just so we can get our tuning hammers, or not tuning hammer, our mute in between our left and middle strings. Because on some pianos, you guys are probably going to notice this if you're in the piano tuning industry, that on some pianos, on select notes, on some notes, there might be a bigger gap between the strings, but it usually depends on the piano. So, and just so you guys know, that is nothing to worry about as long as you can still tune the piano and get the job done for the customer. So we're going to go ahead and do our B. So you guys can see what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make sure that when I'm doing the job, I make sure I do it properly. So that's why sometimes you'll see me checking, with the tuner as well after I've checked it to our musical. So you guys know what I'm talking about when we say our musical theory, because here we are using our perfect fourth in order to check it. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to our A3, or for those of you who use the European tuning system, A4. So we're going to do that one as well. So now I'm just gonna quiet down so we get right to work. So that way you guys can just refer to the beginning of the video where we explain it all. Miss Rayak, I hope you like this. So now, here we go. All right. All right, so we're just gonna double check this one here, so make sure it's set. So you guys can see we're trying to do the best we can to get them beatless, so that way the piano sounds good when we test through it after tuning. Oh, there we go. Here's another one. B flat 3. Oh, look what just happened. Our screw came out. Alright, I don't know why it likes to do that, but it turns out the screw is stripped, so we're going to have to replace that sometime. There we go. That's sounding pretty good. Wow, almost a beat sharp. So we're going to go ahead and check our C sharp here, or C sharp 4. All right. All right, so now we're sounding pretty good on our lower octaves, so we're going to go ahead and double check and listen for any that might sound off. Here we go, there's our F sharp. We're going to go ahead and check that, and we're going to tune it. Oh, that sounds awful. All right, that sounds pretty good. All right, that sounds pretty good. Spot on the money. Oh yeah, that one sounds really bad. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do our left string since we've already started to bring that down. That sounds good. All right, we're going to bring it a little bit over. That way we can tell whether or not we're too sharp. All right, we're too sharp. There we go. All right. All right, sounds good. All right. All right. All right, we're going to move up to our C5. We're just going up to our F sharp 5, which is the last note in our mid-range. And then that will, after we finish this one, that will conclude the video. Okay, that one actually sounds pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and double check it here. All right, that's sounding pretty good. Wow, this one might actually be good. That's shocking. That one was good. I can't believe it. That's pretty good how long it held its tune since last time we tuned it. Alright, that one's a little out. That's a little flat. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up here. There we go, that's sounding pretty good. Wow, that one wasn't too far at all. That's pretty impressive. Usually these ones get affected the worst. As we move higher up in the piano, usually how badly out of tune it gets is usually worse. But in this case here, not too bad. It's actually pretty good. So I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, of course, mute got in the way. Sometimes what I like to do if I'm unsure whether or not it's actually in tune is I'll bring it down pretty flat and then we'll bring it up to pitch. All right, that's sounding pretty good. Here we go, we just set the strings. Oh. All right, that sounds really good. We're going to move on to our E flat. Now, as you guys can see, as we get further up in the piano, it takes less and less of a turn of the tuning hammer in order to make a big difference in pitch. All right, did that again. Now, what you guys definitely want to do is be careful how you place your mute, because if you get it in the strike zone where the hammer is going to hit the strings, you won't be able to hear the note at all. So, especially you try to keep it about at least up to half to a 3/4 inch above the strike zone, and possibly even 1 inch too, depending on how well you want to do it. I usually prefer to go above 1 inch above the strike zone, so that's just my method. So if you guys want to try it, feel free. If you don't want to try it, then you have your own method of doing it, then feel free to do your own method. There we go, that's in tune. All right, there we go. That's sounding pretty good. We're going to move up. And then once we get to this note, that will conclude the video. And that will conclude the demonstration. All right, so you want to do is insert your mute first and then get it about... Now, it also depends on what size piano you have, too. Because if you have a smaller size piano, like about the size of a console like this, room gets more limited as you get higher up in the treble, up in the mid-range and up into the high treble. You notice you have like a lot less room in order to work, and get your mute set up. So that's why it's always important, to make sure you have the right type of mute for the job. So in this case, this is the right type. since we're working with bass notes as well, which we'll do in the next demonstration. All right. Oh, wrong one. There we go, our E is sounding good. That's sounding really good. Now you guys can see why I prefer to use this method when I'm tuning pianos. Is why I always go with the perfect fourth and the perfect fifth, is because it is the easiest yet simplest method to make sure that the note is in tune with its neighbors along with itself. Oh. So you guys can see how I'm setting the strings after each little movement I make, because you want to make sure the tension is equal on all of the strings, so that way when you go to play through after, when you tune the piano and you go to test it after you're done, you know, you want to make sure that all your tensions are set equally, so that way you don't get notes getting knocked out of tune during testing after tuning. So it's always important to be aware, you know, to make sure you set your strings and also set your pins as well if you haven't already done so during the procedure. So just bear that in mind for when you guys are out there tuning customers' pianos, or in this case, in my case, tuning your own piano. All right. All right, we're going to bring that down because we weren't sure if it was in tune or not. There we go. That sounds pretty good. All right, that works. All right, let's go ahead and tune that. There we go. Now we're on the last note, and then we're gonna, before we conclude the video, we're gonna, you know, give you guys a little explanation about my piano's history. Make sure that is set. Alright, so you definitely want to make sure, like I said before, make sure your mute is not in the strike zone of the hammer. See, there we go. So we're going to have to work a little differently here with this. So we're going to mute our right string only, and we're going to tune our left and middle at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if that works. It works. I can't believe that actually worked. All right, there we go. Now we're going to double check it here with our perfect fourth and our perfect fifth. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that demonstration there. That is demonstration number 1 of our how to tune a piano. In this case, we just tuned the mid-range. And so this is demonstration number 1. Our explanation videos will be out soon. And then when we do the playlist for the video series, we're going to put our explanation videos first, and then we're going to put our tuning videos after. So once we get our explanation videos complete, then we're going to put these videos in the playlist as well. So we're going to upload them so you guys can watch them. And thank you for watching this demonstration. Mr. Ryak, I hope you enjoy this demo. That way you can tune your piano like a pro. Thank you guys for watching. Joe's HVAC Fishing and Railfan Productions. We will see you on the next demonstration.